One day, Kweku Anansi, the notorious trickster, went to God with a complaint. "God," he began, "my wife is nothing but an extra mouth to feed. She eats my share of the food, and I'm getting tired of it." God, always patient with Anansi's complaints, raised an eyebrow and asked, "What would you like me to do about this problem?" Anansi, with a sly grin, replied, "God, please give me a wife with no mouth upon her face. That way, she won't eat my food." God, who had seen Anansi's tricks before, looked at him with bemusement. Anansi was always asking for the most peculiar things. "Very well," God said with a smile. "Come the morning, you shall have a new wife with no mouth upon her face." Anansi, thrilled by the prospect of finally having all the food to himself, immediately ran to the supermarket. He bought yams, plantains, rice, and other delicious foods, thinking to himself, "Finally, all the food I buy will be for me alone to eat." The next morning, Anansi awoke to a bright and sunny day. He eagerly rushed to the kitchen and was greeted by his new wife. She silently nodded at him as she prepared breakfast. She didn't speak, didn't eat, just cooked and served him food. Anansi was ecstatic. He couldn't believe his luck. His new wife would cook all the meals, but she would never eat any herself. "This is perfect," he thought. "I've finally outsmarted her." Days passed, and things seemed to be going perfectly, until Anansi went to check on the food supplies one afternoon. To his shock, most of his food had disappeared. "I know I eat a lot," Anansi muttered to himself, "but not this much." He was puzzled. He was supposed to be the only one eating the food. After all, his new wife didn't even have a mouth on her face. Where was all the food going? Determined to get to the bottom of it, Anansi kept a close eye on the kitchen for the next few weeks. He watched his wife cook for him, but he saw nothing unusual. She never ate, never took anything for herself. And yet, each week he found he needed to buy twice as much food. One night, Anansi woke up feeling very thirsty. As he walked through the house to get some water, he heard a strange rumbling sound coming from the kitchen. Curious, he crept toward the door. To his amazement, he saw his wife sitting at the table, eating a large bowl of food. But that wasn't the strangest part. Instead of using a mouth on her face, she was scooping food up with her hand and lifting it to a mouth, hidden in her armpit. Anansi stood there in shock, his mouth agape. "So, this is where all my food has been going," he realized. "My wife has a secret mouth in her armpit, and she's been stealing food from me at night." The next morning, Anansi marched straight to God's house with his